Hello and welcome back to Hearthside. This is episode 19, and today we are going to be doing one of my favorite things to do. We're going to be making trains. We're going to be making at least one train, and we're going to be running around with tracks and placing them. I am so excited. And this is precisely why you place chutes and things right on top of your crushing wheels, because Everett just would have passed on by now. So the first thing that we're going to do is try to make king, and then after that, let's go exploring a little bit and find a good place for our new city. A large city that's going to be producing as much create stuff as I can possibly make. I anchored you! Why? Why? I'm not taking our airship either, so if it ends up eating a part of town, we'll have to figure something out. Oh my goodness. The absolute ridiculousness. Sir! Oh jeez. I'm gonna call you the Violet Menace. That's what I'm gonna call you. And now it's anchored down here. Let's shut off the anchor and move you right on up. So, let's talk about city planning. It's obvious that I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm kind of fine with that, but we're gonna have to think a little bit more about how things are laid out. Ooh, I also built those library towers most of the way. They are going to need more books and bookshelves. You know, I was thinking about it and I noticed, we have not yet named our train, but I already know what we're gonna name it, and I do need to finish that blacksmith. I'll probably run through a quick time lapse later. But now in this town, we have a boy named Vanessa, a girl named William, and a train named Truck. Yurnshire is a weird place, and I am loving it. Wonderful. Let's see how close we are to king. We're still at mayor, but we're like 20 hearts out from what we need. So, it's tempting to just mine diamonds and bribe these people to like me. But instead, I think I'm just going to talk to them for a while and be a social mayor. Oh, I'm monarch now. That's not king. Oh, I see. They probably don't know me as king, because a monarch is more gender neutral. Well, it took us like 20 seconds to become king, so yeah, let me show you around this town, and then we will head right on out. I am not completely done with the library and whatnot. I did finish the backs of these buildings. Take a look. We have entrances. I got a little lazy, I'll admit. Let's not talk about that. And I have not yet planted anything in these portions at all. Yes, we have our spiral staircase up, some doors in the back, and an ability to get into these. We also have these little libraries here. They're not completely filled with books, but when I head on to the next town, I may... Oh my goodness! Hello, everyone! Okay, it looks like they just want to be here, because they can go back down the ladders. We are definitely a monarch. Fantastic. Well, and let's get started on our little plan, and let's talk a little bit about how we may want to plan this city. Right, so we have continual access to our main inventory, and we will have continual access because anywhere in this dimension, we can get into that big ol' inventory up there that's filled with a lot of big chests. I've got to figure out how to name that train as well. Give me just a moment, please. So it looks like it has to be stopped at a station, like this one. And now we can name it. So we're going to name it Truck. Done. We've got 44 tracks, and that's not going to be nearly enough. So I may make a temporary setup for all of these things to make this recipe sequence, and yeah, we might just make a temporary setup, maybe even upstairs in our house or something, just to make us as much track as I can possibly get my hands on. Or we could do a monorail track. Ooh, that's interesting. You can mount things to monorails, interestingly. It's just like trains. It's just like trains, but it's up above. Ooh, yes! And I totally forgot, you can connect train tracks through the nether. And that does sound very interesting. It will attempt to create a paired track on the other side. So you can just go through the nether if we want to go very, very far away. I might come back. I may come back to do the blacksmith, guys, because my creative energy on that one is really, really low right now. So we're going to leave that as a dirt hut. And one day I'll come back and it will be annoying to me. So the two things we'll need to be able to leave Urnshire and move on to bigger and better horizons. Actually, the three things. We will need a place to go. And a train station and a track to get there. So, let's see. Well, everyone, it looks like we may have to go on an exploration adventure. I'm thinking we go to the south and see what's out there. So, let's grab our airship and head on that way. You know what? Take a look at this area, everyone. That's got a big high up point with a crazily built village and a large cave over there, but let's take a look. There's a big flatland over here with some waterways, more relatively flatland directly underneath us, a big ol' island portion where I could start manufacturing portions, and an isle that keeps on a-going this-a-way. And it's pretty far out. This is a really interesting place. It is a Mediterranean forest, and that's different than what we came from. It's quite nice. I think I found the place where our city's going to go. And I will move the villagers in a more nice way than what I've done before. Or something. We'll all figure it out together. Any suggestions on what to do with the villages nearby would be appreciated. Wonderful. Well, I'm so excited to start building here, and we have got to make a long rail line here. So, should we do that first? Or should we build just a train track generator in this space? I think, honestly, I will build the rail line first. Let's mark this area. We're going to edit home, and we're going to put Urnshire. I'm going to take the time to take the airship back. I will see you all shortly. And then we'll make our way here with a train. Right, so we made it back to Urnshire with our airship. Now I'm going to be making a bunch of tracks. We're going to see if we want to take it through the nether, because we've got a ton of icy, cold places to go. So I'm not sure. The problem with the nether is that it's impossible to survive without having a bunch of those pods and the lantern, you understand. So I don't know. I kind of want to take it through the nether anyway. I can survive it, but if I wanted to take, say, anyone else later on, they might not survive it. So, maybe I have a distinct train line specifically for myself. I think that might be wise. For now, though, in order to make a massive train line, we will either need a ton of zinc, a ton of slabs, a ton of lots of different things. Specifically stone slabs and smooth stone slabs, so we may have to do a few different things. For now, though, I want to make the library a little nicer. It's just so clearly carved out in such a dramatic way. And get a few other things done last minute here before I head out. Oh, those shade this area nicely. Did it end up cutting into some of my buildings? No, they didn't. Oh, a little bit there, but that's fine. Now, for train tracks. We've got endless iron, which is useful for this process, so we are going to offshoot off of our crushing wheels, I think, and put the setup kind of in between this mess. Anyway, I think I'll take it off of this one. Right, so here is the super simple temporary setup we have. We have two deployers that will be deploying a bunch of iron or zinc nuggets, and then a smasher, of course. So we're also going to put some chutes on top of those. No idea if this will be nearly enough, but that's all right. It'll get us started. That works. And we're just going to let that run in the background for a while. For now, I kind of need to design a train. Well, we got our train out here, and I put up waypoint beacons. So, that will help us determine how far our new city is away, and it is 7,277 blocks away. I am excited about this rail line, but seeing that, I am not gonna lie, I'm a little scared. I'm a little touch scared, but we will get there. I don't think I have 7,000 blocks worth of train tracks, so I'll have to make those up a little bit more. I'll get those started as we move right along. But for now, I'm kind of tempted. I can look at carriage counts and things like that on the map. Isn't that neat? Anyway, so what I'm gonna do, I thought I would just take a shot of this and, guide a rail line, trace one, but then I'd have to figure out how to look at it. I don't think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm just gonna go with where the tracks feel natural and simple, and we'll see what ends up happening. I will just go on this journey with you. So, let's head on. Well, with all of those tracks that we made, this is how far we've made it. So, yeah. I'm probably going to drop it down through here and then go along this side and avoid a good portion of this mountainous region if I can. Then again, I kind of wanted to go through this pass. So maybe I will actually just keep going straight forward until I hit this island, then turn it as I get to this island, and then drop it through right on that pass. But either which way, we gotta run back, make tracks, and I get to show you some neat things about the train. So let's talk it out. The beams are going to get frustrating after a while, but I will remove them after we're done laying track. So the interesting thing about the trains is they're exactly like contraptions. You can glue stuff to the front of them. As soon as I disassemble this train, actually. There we are, disassembled the train. Now, let's add some drills to it, and let's add some saws to it. And glue these all. Would a minecart contraption be better for laying track and such? Like clearing the space and then laying track? Because unfortunately you can't lay track or anything directly on top of these tracks, so you can't like clear to ground level unless you kind of do it yourself. It's kind of tempting just to do it myself though, because I think I'd be faster. But I don't know. I don't know if that's actually the case. So let's leave this train back here, and let's clean up a little space up front. Looks like I might be on my own cleaning up. Let's look at these mechanical rollers, because I know those are a thing we can do. Mechanical rollers help to clean up. In its default mode, it will simply clear blocks like a drill. Oh, that's what we're looking for, y'all. Then we can add suitable paving materials, add chests to it, and it will pave underneath it with those things. But they can be used on all sorts of things as well. Ooh, that's what we're looking for. And you can also fill up terrain with the roller, it looks like. Fill modes to bridge the terrain. Oh my. They will simply place columns down to the surface. Oh, but you can slope fill it as well. And it won't break existing blocks. Fascinating. Wonderful. That's what we're looking for to put on the front of this train. And also probably gonna run through and clear some trees later, but let's get some rollers done. I'm gonna need at least 3, and we're gonna need to make some more wheels. So I will be right back with those crushing wheels and such. I'll also have to put some chests on the train. Alright, we got our crushing wheels. Let's make some rollers right off. Right, so let's place the rollers on the front. We're going to put one here, here, And here. Wonderful. And right now we're just going to get rid of the blocks in front. Entirely. And also, for storage, I decided something a little bit different than chests. I have all of these backpacks that I've gotten off of enemies. So I'm going to put these up here. There we go. Our storage compartment is filled with luggage. Well, not our storage compartment. Our carriage, our passenger carriage is filled. I'm also going to have to put a caboose on this for me. So let's play around with just taking stuff out and not putting stuff in right now. We're going to assemble the train. Hop in and see how it goes. What didn't glue? A lot of stuff didn't glue. Let's try this one more time. Sometimes trains are just fiddling, but once you're done with them, they are so impressive and so interesting. Sorry, I almost got killed by a tree. And now we've reached the end of our trek. Let's go see how everything looks. First, though, let's just grab this other end so that we can navigate back quickly. Woo, heading full speed across this terrain. And we'll approach the track station. And let's go take a look at how it did. I don't think my backpacks worked in picking anything up. You live and you learn. I really thought those would work. Let's see if they did, in fact, pick anything up. No. So therefore, these do not work for storage. Good to know. Let's disassemble the train, and we'll put some barrels up there. I think I have things in these backpacks as well that I need to empty out. And I believe I have some upgrades. Let's just see how the barrels do in the first place. And the good thing about those barrels is that if I put a fuel source on here, we saw it earlier, I can move faster. So we're going to assemble this train again and move right back along and do the rollers one more time. Now, did the barrels pick up anything at all? Or does it only pick up stuff that it breaks? Because I got some stuff from that. Yes, I think it just picks up things that it breaks. That's fine. And go see if we got more tracks. Also, let's take a look. I'm also thinking there's a portion up here that drops real low, and I'm not as big of a fan of it. We'll also clear a lot of these trees. I might drop that curve back there as well. Let's go back and get our train and run it again. Excellent. We've gotten more track. Let's add 2 more rollers to our train. And also, I changed how many tracks lay down at once, so we're going to make this as nice as we can. You know, we're missing some certain pieces from this train that I didn't even think about, so let's go over those. First off, we are missing a train whistle. Or a bell. And I can't decide which one would be better. Not whistle. A steam whistle. That's what it's called. And we need a golden sheet, and I don't think we have one. So I'm going to head back and that's a brass sheet. Dang it. Alright, so there's the steam whistle. And one thing you want to know about the steam whistle is that you're going to need a tank with it. So let's talk about it. They can be placed on a fluid tank. And if it receives sufficient heat, it will play a note when activated. Now, on trains, you just have to put it on the tank. You can use a whistle item on the block to lower its pitch. And you can use a wrench to cycle between the octaves. I think I will make this one really cute. Look at it, it just looks like, oh! It can help find out the current pitch. The engineer's goggles can help you figure out the current pitch of the whistle. So, we've got our tank, and we've got our whistle. Abort that, because, of course, if you're going to add anything to your train, you have to disassemble it first. I always forget that. There we go. We can make it deeper if we make that bigger. And I'm going to make it real small. Yeah, that will stop the smoke from coming up because we want to add another item to this. So, there we go, all tidied in there. And now, for a interesting little showpiece, we're going to get a smokestack. Which smokestack do we want? There's a caboose smokestack, which we'll use on the actual piece. I kind of want the coal burner smokestack. So let's go with this one. And this should give out occasional smoke. But actually, one thing we do want to add to it is we're going to make this a kind of gray smoke. So we're going to want some gray wool underneath it. And that should put out a lighter gray smoke. There we go. That looks just fine. Okay, so we traded that campfire out for a magma block. So we're going to see if that works out. If it doesn't, then we're going to put fluid in that tank and see if it will produce the needed steam that's required. Oh, trader, you are going to want to get out of my way. I will not regret hitting you with the train. Alright, let's see if it works if we do something a little different. While we're controlling the train, I believe... we have to hit a hotkey while we're manually controlling the train. If we have something in here automated, then I'm pretty sure, for instance, if we told, like, a bee or something to approach the station, when it arrived, I believe that it would make the choo-choo. And that's what I'm hoping for. So, let's fix up the train once more. And there we are. Hop in and hit the control. Oh my goodness. So cute. Wonderful. Alright, so now that we've figured out the whistle, and you see the smokestack delightfully moving on up, let's talk about our rollers. I'm only going to do a short bit of this for the moment, and we're just going to replace stuff with dirt at the moment, because we have a lot of dirt, and the ability to kind of make it a little bit more aesthetic as we move along. So we're going to add some of this dirt, in fact, as a filter after I disassemble the train. Okay, paving material. Click with this item to set, and it will set all of them at once. Then, we're going to talk about clear blocks and pave. We're going to do that. Straight fill below, sloped fill below, and replace tracks. Ooh, you can just replace the tracks outright. That's interesting. But we're going to clear blocks and pave with that, okay? So I'm going to... You guys really do not want to be there in the next 2 seconds. I will not be merciful. You have been in my way. You're going to want to move. Get on. And assemble the train. Oh, and we did not name it yet, so we're going to name it the Verdant Journeyman. Yay! I like that. But I don't like it too much. If you guys have a different idea, I am all about it. So let's pull our camera back. Guys, move. And it looks like the rollers are not paving beneath us. And I think it's because they are on just clear up things. So, oh. This is what happens when you run into trees. You get stuck in them. You get stuck in the trees. So if you're going to be running around, maybe consider the fact that it will just go right under all of it, but you will get stuck in the trees themselves. Oh, that's why it's not laying anything down. That is a foolish move to make. I didn't add any of the blocks that it would need to replace it with into its inventory. There we are. Oh, buddy. Alright, that took us a little minute to figure out, but I'm glad we did. Nothing happened. I didn't hit 2 llamas with the train. And then forget to add our stuff. So let's get this filter in and make sure everything will start doing its rolling. The rollers are still not placing. I'm not sure if they need a minimum speed. Materials can be supplied via chests or barrels attached to the structure. Does it have to be attached to this one? I bet it does. I may have to put a chest or a barrel in here for it to work. And I may just switch this wool out for that. Because I don't mind fully if we have black smoke. Let's see if we finally got these kiddos. And there it is. There it is. You have to have it on the same space. The same carriage. And it will lay all of that down. Look at how beautiful it is. Ah! And look, it will even drop lower as you go lower. Isn't that great? It makes things so much more simple. Oh, I'm gonna get lost in trees again. I think I will clean those up in between paving and moving and paving and moving. This is going to be a delightful, long, maybe arduous journey, but I am excited to take it. Unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. Next time we're going to be laying a whole lot of track, paving this area, and making things look nicer in general. And building 2 train stations at both ends, and use these little train stations to do some interesting things. They can do a lot, and I am excited to show you all about that. Thank you for joining me today. See you next time.